Good morning. For the record, that is July 8th, 2021. And we are going to be going over, this is our regular BDA and AMO ongoing training. And today we are specifically going to go over the Momentum program. I know we've mentioned it many times before, but we haven't really gone through the presentation with everyone. So this is what the focus of today is I'm going to walk through the presentation and then we'll have a little discussion about it. But this is one of the premier programs that we talk about and use because it's definitely needed out there. I'm not going to steal too much of my thunder going through it, but this is a program that for every BDA out there, this is going to be good for them to know about and use, especially when you're talking to like health insurance agents, P&C agents, inexperienced agents, Medicare agents, and things like that. So I'm going to walk through the presentation. I'm going to walk through a couple of the materials that we built out of it as well. And just so that everyone knows, this entire presentation and all the scripts and things like that and the letters that I'll go over are all in band under the Momentum program folder. And you can see all the information there. So with that said, let's get started. I'm going to walk through this. I'm probably going to do a little bit in and out of doing a quote unquote formal presentation of how I would present it because you guys all have access to this slideshow as well. But I'll probably take a step out and talk about a couple of things as well. But with that said, the Momentum program is a strategic partnership program for insurance agents and financial professionals who would benefit from partnering with an elite advisory firm in the retirement planning industry. The program is designed to pair agents with a team of professionals that have created a proven sales and seminar system, which has produced over $20 million in FIA premium and over $1 million in life insurance premium. So ideal candidates for the Momentum program include experienced agents who do retirement planning, agents who want to grow their production, new agents, and agents who would like to be trained on running our system themselves. So fancy words and everything like that, but the idea being is that we have a built out system in the retirement planning space. So doing things like fixed index annuities and maximally funded life insurance. And through that, there's a lot of agents that don't know that space really well. So that's why I mentioned before, people like P&C agents, health insurance agents, Medicare agents. Usually they focus on those areas, they do them really well, but they don't capture the dollars that a lot of their clients have because they're not asking the questions about, well, hey, when did you leave your job? Do you have any other lump sums of money lying around? Would you like to create a tax-free retirement, et cetera, et cetera. They're not asking those questions and they don't know how to create that process for that client. So they usually don't touch it. So that's the simplicity of this program is it's a strategic partnership program for BDAs to talk about with agents that aren't doing retirement planning. And I will include in there because of the people that we have on the team that I know I mentioned the FIAs and maximally funded life insurance, but it's also financial planning as well. So mutual funds, stocks, bonds, all that stuff. We have access to those things, and those are areas that a lot of agents don't do. So I'm not going to go through this too much. This is the case for strategic partnership. And usually at this point, you might not have to really go over the slide too much, but it's the idea that partnering with the right people is important and the right team. So just making that case for strategic partnership, most people already know this because people team up in the insurance industry all the time. But it's making the case that our goal is to help them grow. And we have the system and the program in place to be able to do that. And that's why you partner with us to be able to make that happen. So very simply, the program works like this. As one of our longtime agents have said, is drink coffee. I drink coffee, I eat rolls, and I refer you to my experts. So the person that said that has been in the industry for 55 years. He's done close to over $200 million in annuities in his career. He's done a lot of business, but at the age that he's at, all he does is do that. He drinks coffee, he eats rolls, and refers people to their experts. So the idea is that you have the collaborating agent, which is anybody, any PNC agent, health agent, new agent, whatever it is, and they're the collaborating agent, and their first step is marketing. And marketing, all it means in this case is that they have a lead, and they're bringing that lead to the table. So it's their job to bring the client to the table. It's really that simple. And then the momentum advisor is going to partner with that collaborating agent to make sure the client receives the best options and services available, and then they split commissions. That's the simplicity of the program. So you have a collaborating agent, which brings the client to the table, and then you have the momentum advisor, which was someone on our team that is going to partner with them to make sure the client receives the best options and services available, and then they split business. Now, as a note, we call it the momentum advisor, but this is why this is an important program for all of the BDAs, because any BDA can use this, can be the momentum advisor. If you're licensed and you have, and you know how to sell, you can go out and talk to a PNC agent and say, hey, we have a phenomenal program. It's a strategic partnership program to help put more money in your pocket by doing business or getting into vertical marketplaces, from the fancy word, that you do not do, Mr. PNC agency. Because they do PNC, they do maybe dabble a little bit in life, but they usually don't do any annuities, and they're not doing over maximally funded life insurance. So that I can help you get in that space and do that. So that's really comes in for the BDAs, for all of you that are listening to this, is exactly that, where you can talk to someone and have a fully built out program to be able to put more money in their pocket, which of course brings you more business as well if you're also a producing agent at the same time. Now, don't want to be the producer. We have people on the team that are part of what we call the producer advisory team that would be that momentum advisor for you. So you just connect the dots, and then you take a step back, and you're getting those overrides off of business that would have never happened with that PNC shop or that health insurance shop or that Medicare shop if you just talked to them and gave them the contract. Because as we know, just getting someone a contract, it doesn't matter if they don't write a piece of business. And if they don't know how to write a piece of business or aren't interested in writing a piece of business, then putting someone in place and partnering them with somebody is what will help them write more piece of business, and everyone wins off that then. Before I go on to the next thing, any questions, Jeff? That makes sense? All right, so why should you consider the strategic partnership program? Number one reason is to participate is to earn more money, period. This is the number one thing that agents want to be able to do. They are not a non-for-profit organization. So the point that you want to stress to them is that why you should do this program is because we are going to help put more money in your pocket, period. Number two is agents are in dire need of a real roadmap for growing their business that defines what to do, how to do it, and has a proven track record. So there are plenty of agents out there. Final expense agents. I'm giving you guys kind of the archetype, the avatar of people that would fit within this program. But final expense agents, Medicare agents, PNC agents, health insurance agents, those are all people that have books of businesses already that are not typically doing much in the retirement planning space. So we can give them a real roadmap to actually growing their practice and capturing more dollars that they're leaving on the table because they're not doing that side of the business, which means that somebody else is. So that's really the two main reasons for this program. And they get to leverage knowledge, leverage time, and leverage image from someone that actually knows how to do that side of the business and has an actual planning process to it. So what are the benefits? I'm not going to go well, I may end up going through each one of them just by default, but the idea is you can read through these. So it's having access to a team of lead advisors who provide retirement planning service to their clients already. Participate in generous and transparent. That's a big word right there. Transparent commission splits based on defined roles. So we'll get into that a little bit, but we use $1 Million Roundtable guidelines to determine split business, and it defines exactly what each person does and what that split looks like, and that's something you can discuss up front. So that transparency is really huge, because a lot of, like, especially P&C shops, is why they don't like partnering with a life insurance agent or retirement planning specialist or anything like that, because it's usually just a referral, and then they don't get anything from that, or they don't know what's going on, or the commission splits aren't talked about beforehand, et cetera, et cetera. They own the business and have ownership in the client through the whole process. This program is not based off of them just giving a referral and then the agent giving them a 1099. This is built off of the idea that they are going to get contracted with the carriers, and they are going to go on the actual application for split business. So that alleviates a lot of the idea of, well, what's going on with your client? Like they don't even have a login. They have to get that from the agent, basically. So if they're on the app, that alleviates that. They have ownership of their book still. They're not just passed on off a referral. And just as an FYI, if someone says, oh, well, I don't really want to do that, don't bother. Like, just let them go. Because it is for the people that are just like, well, I don't want to get contracted with carriers or go through that whole mess, then this is not the program for them. Because literally part of the program is that they have ownership of that book of business. And if they're just looking for a referral partner, great. That's your decision on what you want to do with that. But that means you're responsible to do the 1099. If there's a chargeback, you have to get that from them. Like, it becomes a lot messier than it should. Number 4, have access to the contracts and carriers needed to implement the program at high commission levels. So by high commission levels, we mean offering it at street level. So a lot of times in the industry, that's not what people offer. Same thing with that transparency is we're going to show them this is the commission level you'll be at. This is what we're going to split off of, et cetera, et cetera. And that helps with being contracted with the carrier. So have the ability to be trained to learn and implement the planning process independently. So this is not something, like I said, this is not built off just as a referral program. If the P&C, if the whatever agent that you're working with wants to actually learn and do retirement planning themselves, we will teach them our process. So that's important to understand. Like I said, it's not just something where they're, okay, well, I'm going to pass off the referral, I'm going to get some money from it, but I'm never going to be able to do this themselves. And there are going to be people that's all they want to do is just earn the 20% basically for bringing the client to the table. But there are going to be some agents that want to actually learn how to do this themselves. So we do have that within that process. We will teach them our secret sauce, basically. Number 6, can take advantage of the client workshop platform attached to the Momentum program. So there is, we do workshops and seminars as well. And so we have that built out and how to do that. And COVID blew up a lot of that. I mean, now it's starting to come back. But we do have that in place where we can implement workshops and seminars for that agent or agency as well. Receive all the plug and play resources needed to work the program with no hidden costs. We have scripts, we have letters they can send out, things like that. It's already built in. And they have the ability to become Momentum lead advisors and advise other agents in the program. So if they, in essence, graduate from this program and learn the process themselves, then they have the ability to do that on their own at some point down the road as well. That doesn't happen very often, but those would be the benefits at a glance. I went through each one of them because I want every one of you to hear it, but typically I would pick out just a few of them and have that conversation basically. Any questions? Good. All right. So putting it together, what this actually looks like is you're going to meet the team. We're going to go through the Momentum planning process. We're going to go through what's included, program requirements and the next steps. So this slide is blank because this is going to be based off, like, you can put yourself in there, or the team of people that we have right now. And I know, Jeff, you're familiar with Eric Essex, but right now Eric Essex and Kristen Olson are going to be the team that we're talking about right now, if you as the BDA do not want to be that momentum advisor. So we would put their information, their bio and stuff like that in there. But like I said, if you wanted it to be you and say, well, hey, I'd be able to help you out with that. This is what it's doing. This is a way for you to get more production in your house, basically, partnering with P&C agents and health insurance agents. This program is open to do that as well. So you can put your stuff in there. You can ask us to put your stuff in there. So just know that that's what this slide is for, is meeting the team. It's either you or we'll have Eric Essex and Kristen Olson in there of having that conversation. So their bio, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what that slide is for, is talking about those people, pumping them up or pumping yourself up, basically. Our partners is, of course, 3 Mark Financial, because that's where we get run the life and annuities through. Praxis, of course, and then RA is a marketing firm that puts butts in seats for seminars. So if someone actually wants to go that route and pay a place to do that, they have it all built out. They do a phenomenal job. We've used them in the past before. And then if you're like Wella, as an example, Wella could slap their logo right here then too. Or honestly, take off Praxis and just put their logo. So if you have your own brand and stuff like that, we can slap that in there. This is meant for you guys to use as you want to, going through it. I'm going to breeze through this because this is changing slightly, but all you're expressing in these slides is that there is a systematic process of what we're walking clients through. Now, like I said, if someone comes in and they have a referral and or they working with a client and they send out these letters, and someone calls in and said, yeah, I just left my job. I have old 401k. I mean, you move the 401k, you don't walk them through a 5-step process of and a 30-day process to make sure they have everything down. But the idea being is that when you're talking to the agent, what you're demonstrating to them is that this is not something that we just do willy-nilly, and it's different for each client. We have an exact step-by-step process of helping them get to these goals of an income plan, an investment plan, a tax plan, a healthcare plan, a legacy plan. Like I said, this is going to change slightly, but even if it changes, the thing that you're expressing is exactly the same. Is that we have a planning process, and we're going to implement that in the same way every single time. So that's what these slides are for. So like I said, I'm not going to go through these. Income plan, investment plan, it talks about each one of them. Tax plan, healthcare plan, legacy plan. And then the planning process, same thing. Like, these are going to change slightly, but it's the idea of getting to know each other. The first meeting, understanding why and their concerns, removing the roadblocks, gaining momentum, full speed ahead. Like I said, that's already built into the whole entire process. Is that if we are dealing with a client that has the amount of money, and we need to go through each one of these things, this is what high net worth clients are looking for, basically. And this is the planning process that they're typically walked through. So all you're demonstrating, once again, this process is built out. We know what we're doing. We know what we're implementing. We know how we're helping out the client. And for every client that agency or agent brings over, we're going to walk them through somewhat of this process, unless, like I said, we just need to do a transaction and the client already knows exactly what they're coming to us for, basically. but that's important to mention. What's included? So there's a bunch of stuff that's included. Technically, we give them access to the our CRM system. They get access to the advisory team. They did discounts on the RA marketing seminar and workshop packages because we get a discount through them, so we pass that down. I apologize. I see this is an old slide, but I'll change out a couple of those things. The retirement planning website landing page. I'm going to take off this too, the Momentum RA email. No one got that email when they wanted to do it because they're using their own email. We have a group that we have for this as well. If people want to participate in it, and then dedicated marketing affiliate and ongoing training, which is you, the BDA. Complete back office for policy, new business, compensation. So that's the 3Mark platform, smart office and things like that. And then access to everything else that the ACG membership has. We do trainings and stuff like that as well if they want to participate in them. And then I'm going to go through this, but the idea is active insurance, active life and health insurance license, contracted with approved carriers with Praxis. So this is important because we're not running this program for them if they're in their own line, in their own chain, and we're not earning that basically. So we have a signed collaboration agreement. Now this is the part I'm going to mention is the Momentum program. We've been charging $89.95, but use this at your discretion. Make the pitch that it actually costs the money to be part of the program. But if you decide for yourself, you know what, for this agent or agency, I'm going to waive that fee, that is completely at your discretion. So understand that. But the idea is that the reason there's a charge is because the design of this is for them to make more money. And if they're not paying something for the program, they don't see there's not a price tag, there's not as much of a value to it they see. And they're not like, every time they see that, like, oh, I need to get over referral. Because literally, if they did one case a month, they'd be making a heck of a lot more than $89.95. But like I said, if they're just passively doing this and they're like, oh, well, I'll give a referral when I want to, or things like that, then they don't actually run the program the way that they should. So that's really what the $89.95 is for. And that's why it says see marketing advisor for details. So like I said, that's at your discretion. You can discount it, you can put it for free. But the idea is that they know that they're going to be charged something for this program to be in it. And if they actually utilize it, they will make more money than they will make from paying this fee. But it is at your discretion of whether you want to charge them that or lower it or whatever. So 1 hour setup and program training, and then must be part of the group. And then use CRM system for all clients participating in the program. So we help out with that, but again, it's the same thing. We have CRM. They need to be in the same CRM environment. They can have their own CRM system, but whatever clients they're passing off to that Momentum advisor or you as the BDA, they need to be in the same environment for those clients so that both the Momentum advisor and the agent can log in and see what's happening with that client. So that's where that transparency is again. And we would use HubSpot for that. So this is a really great example, but monetarily wise of doing the math. So on FIAs and life insurance at certain splits. So if someone just did 20%, 50%, 80%, in a calendar year, if they were to do this amount of business, then this is what they would make just from doing a split business at these different levels. So 20% is them literally just bringing a client to the table. They're out of the process. They're doing nothing else after that. They're not writing the application. They're not closing the case. They're not doing the illustration design, things like that. So that 20%, 10 cases at $100,000 each case of FIAs. We take the comp being about 6%. Street level, like I said, could be higher, could be lower, depending on the carrier and the product that's being used, but that's a total of 60,000 hours of comp. And then if they're just bringing it to the table, they take that 20%, that equals 12,000. And then same thing, math and life insurance, 40 cases. And we did this at a low number, 1,250. I mean, honestly, that's like some term cases or final expense cases. And as you very well know, one IUL case could blow this up and be 10,000 hours of premium by itself. 50,000 hours of premium at a 90% comp, that's 45,000 hours. At 20%, that's 9,000 hours. It equals $21,000. So, and then you can do that math for everything down here. 50%, same thing. The cases don't change. This is them working the case together. And then this is you just doing, maybe they need help closing the case, or they need to do an analysis and have recommendations put together and things like that. So it's all built out into the $1 Million Roundtable guidelines. But as you see, 21,000, 52,000, 84,000, and even if they're paying the $90 a month, which is what, like $1,000 or something like that. I mean, that puts more money in their pocket, absolutely. If they're actually utilizing this program. And even if they're half wrong, I mean, 10,000, 25,000, 42,000, that's more money than they'd be making from just doing what they're doing. So that's kind of the last piece. Next steps: complete the capitalization agreement, sign up, do the meetings, send out client marketing, and then follow the program. And then that's the end. So I'm going to take a pause real quick. I have to actually handle something that's going to take 1 minute. And then I'm going to go through the materials in a second.
In developing that relationship with that agency.
100%. And that's the whole design of this program, because of where, especially where it came from, is we dealt with a lot of agents that were not in that space that we were familiar with. And this allows a very visual way of, other than just saying, hey, yeah, we can be referral partners, pass off stuff to me, of actually saying, no, like, this is a program, we have this built out, this is not our first rodeo, and this demonstrates all of that. That really drives everything that you said, that drives that point home, basically.
Yeah. It takes away the helter-skelter and makes it a professional approach to developing business revenue. It covers every angle to me.
Yeah.
In a comprehensive manner.
On that note, so that's the presentation. There's a few things that like I said, that will be changed in there and things like that, but the slides and everything that we went over and how you talk about them is exactly there. So there's a bunch of scripts and stuff like that, but really the next step after they come on board to the program is there's materials that support the presentation, basically. So the idea being is that I mentioned the $1 Million Roundtable guidelines. So we made a nice sheet of it with the Momentum program on there. It goes over the circle of fifths of marketing, data collection, case design, implementation, service. And you can have that discussion with each person beforehand. And then it gives the idea of, 50% of the total cases can be earned through partnership of every step. So this is all laid out of what that looks like. It gives the graded splits as well, because the idea is if you're dealing with a larger case, it's really not that much more work. It's the same amount of work for a small case as it is for a large case. So a lot of times what MDRTs will do is that they'll grade that and then give the value of, the value is the person that found the client, not the person that's doing the back end work. So maybe in that case, you give them 30% for just finding the case, or 35% if it's a really a large case, because I mean, large cases are like gold. You want to have that person earn as much as they can for passing off a warm referral to that. So it's all built out here, and these are all in that folder as well. Same thing, So this is the collaboration agreement. Like I said, this just kind of formalizes like, okay, you're in a program. This is what we're going to do. This is what you're going to do, et cetera, et cetera. And then this is a flyer that you can use. So this is a PDF. You can print this out. You can send this over. Partnership, it basically just talks about the same idea and the questions. Would you like to increase your life and FIA production? Are you interested in how to do an effective retirement seminar? Are you looking at the retirement planning market but need a partner to help? Are you approaching retirement and looking for agent continuation? I mean, that's a good question for agents that are like that are on their way out or getting ready to retire. Would you like just an amazing referral partner in the retirement life insurance market? So these are all great questions that you can ask. Gives a high level overview. I mean, it just talks about like not even a high level overview. This is just the sizzle basically. You're not selling the steak. And then this is the program overview. So basically the presentation in a nutshell to get someone interested basically. So what does it include? What do we do? Blah, blah, blah. Like I said, I'm not going through all this so you can read through it, but I'm just saying these are all the supporting materials. And then there's scripts behind that. So these scripts I'll walk through in a second. There's like 10 other scripts to use for different things. You can, of course, always change this. They can take this off and slap their logo on it and their information. But as you see, this one's built out for the Auto and Home Insurance Agency. Relationship with you has been only about automobile and homeowner insurance. I wanted you to be aware I also offer comprehensive insurance and retirement planning services. Blah, 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 blah. It talks about the value proposition of that and how that's affected their clients. And then to please give them a call and contact them. And that's a letter that they can send out. They can copy and paste this and email this out to all their clients. But like I said, the wording is already done. Like it's not something that we have to then, okay, you're part of the program. Let's craft a message for you. It's no, this is already built out. So as you see, there's a lot of other ones that are built out, same kind of thing. So type of policy, if you're a Medicare agent, they're selling Medicare. It's auto and home insurance, if it's health insurance, et cetera, et cetera. It's whatever they're doing. But these are already built out and done, and these are scripts that they're sending out to their entire team. And the script that they can take this, a shortened version of this, and ideally what they're doing is they're calling out to their clients after they send this out as well. Saying, hey, I don't know if you knew, but I do comprehensive financial planning, or I just partnered with the place. And there's different ways that they can have that partnership conversation because they're making sure that to their client that a lot of them know them as that person, the Medicare agent or the PNC agent. So they're saying, hey, I brought in to my agency such and such a person. And this is who they are. This is what they do. And for the most part, most agencies we are acting as an extension of their agency because the brand in of itself doesn't matter. So we're just saying, hey, yeah, we work with so-and-so. You probably wouldn't say unless they're okay with it. Like if you're working with ABC PNC shop, you probably wouldn't say, well, hey, I'm from Wella Financial to the client, because that's going to confuse them. Usually you're saying, hey, I work with ABC PNC shop. I mean, I'm the financial and retirement planning arm of that company. And would love to have that discussion with you. I know you have a long-term relationship with so-and-so. That's kind of the conversation that the Momentum Advisor is having. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to go over today is the Momentum program. So this is all recorded. I'll of course put this on the Praxis YouTube channel, and I'll post it in the band group as well once it's done. But this is a great program that either for you run into those type of agents and they're not going to do that type of they're not, if you give them a life insurance and an annuity carrier, they're not going to write any business with it. So talking about the Momentum program, either you doing it yourself or bringing on like an Eric or a Kristen. That is something that's of huge value that allows you to put more premium in your chain and your hierarchy than you would get if you just reached out to those people and just left them to their own devices.
Mhm.
Be aware of that and how that program works. If you have questions, I'm the guy to talk to on that end. And like I said, we can change around some of the presentation if you want to be put on there or things like that. So just let us know. But outside of that, any other questions on your end, Jeff?
No, I'd just like to comment on the MDRT, the compensation.
Yep.
I think it's something I am going to utilize, and for this reason, it removes the arbitrary or ambiguous of how you determine how to share the comp. It gives you a great starting point that here you're moving it to a third party. It doesn't become, for lack of a better word, a tug of war between two individuals. You can now incorporate it and say, here's a study that the MDRT did, and they're very, and everybody's familiar and knows the MDRT, whether you're a PNC life producers know it intimately.
Yeah.
So it's a great reference point. And
Absolutely.
as I say, it removes the arbitrary or the ambiguous of, well, how are you determining? Now you've got a standard to go by, and you can work off of that. It doesn't have to be etched in stone, but now you can see how it's been arrived at.
Absolutely. And that's something that ideally the momentum advisor and the collaborating agent go through for each client beforehand. If it's going to be different, if it's going to be the same, like, hey, I'm just passing the referral off, and I know that looks like 20% every time. Great, they talk about it, but it's been discussed beforehand rather than, okay, well, we wrote a case and now let's figure out where the split's going to come. Yeah, that doesn't work out very well. But no, like I said, if you have anybody has any other questions about it, let me know. But I wanted to spend time on the momentum program and actually walk through the presentation. All the material, once again, I've said this like 3 times now, but all the material that I just went over is in the band group. So you can find that there. Utilize that as you see fit. If you have a presentation that you want help with, I'm here to do that as well for agent or agency. But I think that's going to be good for everyone to be able to utilize.
Awesome. And when will the editing, you think, will be?
It'll be done before like the next 2 days.
Okay. Oh, great. Oh, so it's going to be immediate. Beautiful.
Yeah. So the major, like I know on the presentation, the biggest editing is the people. That's probably not going to be done till like next week because I'm waiting on bios and pictures and stuff like that. But like I said, you can technically just take that, hide that slide, go from there. But the other editing, I'll do the simple editing on the stuff that might be a little bit confusing at the end of that the slide. The planning process, we'll edit. That'll be more in the probably like a month or so, because there's some things that we're fine tuning. But again, that doesn't matter for presenting it, because it's not changing enough where all you're demonstrating is that we have a planning process in place. That's what those slides are for, and it looks really smart and intelligent. Like, oh, that's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing that you need to wait for to be able to present it. I will fix those minor things that I mentioned, like I said, in the next, it'll be done in the next day or 2.
Great.
And then we'll go from there.
Very good.
That sounds like a plan. Well, then, with that said, we will end the meeting. You guys have you, Jeff, have a great rest of your day. And then I know we have the, Jeff, since I have you, hold on 1 second. I'm going to end this recording. And then you guys enjoy the recording. Let me know, for anyone that views this afterwards, if you have any questions afterwards, just let me know, give me a call, and then we'll go from there. With that said, though, this is the end of this recording.